Netflix, you don't need cable. Hop on YouTube, welcome to the hood table, where we chop up local and global events vocally. You don't really wanna miss out on these conversations. Just joke a little, laugh a little, get that wine in your system, fill your glass a little, expose current events, talk trash a little. You never know, these opinions might clash a little. They addicted to the content, got them binge watching. You don't like it, then you want invited. Bet your friends watching in the house and your job parking lot before you clock it. They don't wanna miss a second of this HD content. Everybody think they got something to say, so it's an open invitation, bring it to the table. But if you come whack, just know we ain't buying in. We gon' probably turn your back and tell you sorry, try again. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable. Yeah, welcome to the hood table. You don't need Netflix, you don't need cable.
Hey everybody, come on in. Welcome to the hood table one more again. Hey Miss Gen Xer, hi. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed to the channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell. Thank you so very much. Now, we're going to have an important discussion tonight with a special guest of ours. Well, actually, she is special, even though she's been on our show before, but she's still special. We're going to be talking about, as the title says of the video, with a family member of a COVID patient living at a local nursing home here called Florence Home in Omaha, Nebraska. And we're going to talk about a situation that she's dealing with and some current concerns that and frustration she has been having with that nursing home facility. So go ahead and introduce yourself, even though a lot of people already seen you before.
Well, good evening, table. Good evening, tea. Good evening. Yeah, you know, this whole COVID thing, it really hit home. You know what I mean? As I was at work yesterday, I get the phone call, you know, that my mom tested positive, and this is after her fourth test.
Fourth test?
Yeah. Apparently it was 4 tests that was administered to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the 4th test. Now, why are they doing so many tests? Or is that like something they're doing on everybody, or whenever they think that there's a case there, do they just keep retesting the?
Well, you know, based upon from what I was told, they will, if they feel okay, and I talked to a lot of people today, so you might see me kind of veer off because I have to look at my notes, because I didn't want to give anyone any misinformation.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
I want to be accurate. Accuracy is everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
But when people have had like symptoms, and especially if they have been amongst others. Now, here's the twist to this whole scenario. I just found out they were actually mandated, Florence Home here. Let's see. They were actually mandated for the whole building. They did a shutdown and they had to test here. I believe it was on the. Bear with me.
Take your time.
Bear with me, because I want to make sure I give y'all the correct. I was just looking at. That's the funny part. I just had it.
It's okay. I'm up here looking for this post.
When I tell y'all, I am in system overload. I have talked to everyone about this. I'm talking about including DHS. I don't know why it's always been hard for me to say that, because that's like a lot of H's. That's just one too many. Yeah, that's just one too many H's. You know why they got to have that many? You know, just H alone. That's just too many. But they actually, like I said, they was mandated here. The state shut them down and made them all test here um on, was it the 11th? I
On the
believe it was
11th
on the,
of this month?
let me see. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna come back to that. I don't know why. You know what? Because here it is. I got, wait a minute. Pardon me. Here we go. Here we go. Maybe that'll help if I just kind of lift this up a bit. You know. But one of the things is like I was saying. If people have been around amongst others or whatnot, and they have had these symptoms, they are actually pulling them in and they're doing testing
Hmm.
then, or whatnot. Because, of course, when you have people who are asymptomatic, they're not showing symptoms, which makes this situation. I'm going to get y'all the information right now because I just want to keep talking, and when I see it, I'll see it. I'm
That's
going to
fine.
come back to that and give that to y'all. But this is such a unique scenario because it was around May 24th. I had initially had got a phone call from them in regards to the first testing that took place. And this is when they were telling me and notifying me that a staff member on my mother's floor had tested positive. And
Um,
they told
and
me
when was that?
May 24th.
May 24th. Okay.
May 24th, and this is at the time when I'm getting the first, their whole like, oh my gosh, a staff member on your mother's floor
Hmm.
tested positive. So what we're gonna do, we're getting ready to just test everybody,
Hmm.
and now we're gonna go to using paper products. We're going to quarantine them to their rooms. We're going to, they're giving me the whole rundown now.
I'm surprised they didn't. I mean, I don't know what the policy is, but I would just think, that they would try to use throwaway supplies like paper plates, paper cups, paper bowls, paper, you know, so they don't have to be so much concerned with that additional cleaning and sterilizing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Yeah,
then after that, they said they were going to start using paper products.
you thought that is something that would have automatically, as you stated, considering this is something you're talking about droplets, you're talking about different, contact of bodily
And
fluids.
this isn't just this place. That's what I would
Yes,
think they would do that with any facility where the elderly
yes.
are, or the fragile people who might have weak immune systems, things
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
that, because of how
Yeah,
easily spreadable it is. But go ahead.
you that, like you said, you would think. So they're telling me they're going to do all this, and we're going to start. Now, this was the kicker for me. This
Mhm.
was the kicker for me. We're going to start utilizing the M95s
The
and
mat.
yes. Now we're going to start utilizing the M95s and the face shields.
What were they
So
using?
when they were just using surgical and cloth, just your
Really?
basic,
The basics?
just the basics. Yes. Yeah. Mhm. Because I began to dig deeper today,
Uh huh.
and that's when I talked to DHHS,
Uh huh.
and because I found out our wonderful state, the good life, Nebraska, said that if, and now this is where I'm going to have to just go ahead and read this to you guys because I found this to be quite interesting. And I said, well, how does this work? It's like you're telling me that you guys don't even care enough about your elderly who is more receptive. They have more issues. underlying health. So I'm on the phone appalled. I'm
So
on the phone appalled.
I'm wondering now, because I know people who work in hospitals and nurses and medical
Mm-hmm.
assistants, and I know they wear those specific masks. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder, why does nursing homes think that they are shouldn't be doing the same thing the hospitals are doing, because they have just as many sick people in a nursing home than in the medical center, like the hospital.
Now, this is what DHHS stated to me.
Mm-hmm.
The M95. Now, remind you, we know, we feel CNA. There's nurses there. There's still nurses.
Yeah, there's nurses,
It's,
there's CNAs, LPNs, RNs,
there's LPN. There's still even doctors that fall through there.
right, yeah.
But they're saying that the N95 are for staff people with high risk with corona.
Oh,
Well, how do we know necessarily if they're asymptomatic, if they're high risk?
yeah, because
Is
you
my
truly don't know
question.
where people go when they get outside of the. That's even with hospitals. That's with any job. People can say they quarantine themselves and they can go out and be hanging out wherever,
Hello.
whenever,
They
So,
said they said they're basically for the individuals that are working in first responders that are in ICU in emergency rooms where
mm,
it's
mm.
highly likely for an individual can pass along. What make you think it's not highly likely for your staff who comes in there from God knows where, what, and who they've been around to bring it in there?
So only emergency room. This is what DHS is saying. People who work in emergency rooms and stuff like that is the ones who
Yep.
have to wear
Yep.
those
And they call it first responders.
first responders. Okay.
Yeah. But what make you think that these people that are taking care of our elderly are not considered first responders? They're in first call to action to take care of them. They're making sure that they eat every day, that they're staying clean, that they're taking their meds.
I wonder if it's a money issue. Like I know I'm pretty sure there's a, a price difference, maybe a significant price difference in those specific masks that you said DHS says that first responders should be using compared to the cloth mask or the surgical mask. I wonder if that's the reason. Because I just can't, I don't know. I would just think that almost not everybody in nursing homes, but most of them, the majority of them, they have
Yeah.
borderline conditions, underlying conditions that can make them susceptible to catching something, especially something airborne like this.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But they're doing it now.
No. But
They
they're
doing it now. They made a decision to wear those, to use those masks now, right?
now, yeah, now they're, made the decision because after a person tested positive,
Uh huh.
that's the only reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't considered high risk. But why not? When this thing came, it came with a vengeance. This thing was here. They knew that.
Yeah. And even at the beginning,
And
I said at the beginning, that's all the news kept talking about: elderly people in the hospital, nursing homes. That's where a high number of the cases were, and the deaths. I should say the deaths were in high
yeah,
numbers across the country in nursing homes. So I don't, that's why I was wondering, like, why wouldn't they use those better, um, safer masks instead of just a cloth one, when you have so many
hmm
people in one place with underlying health conditions. But anywho, go ahead.
now I do know this for a fact. The whole building was okay. Okay, so let me go back. So like I said, on the 24th, this is going back to the stat, okay? That asymptomatic one. So then on the 28th, I get a phone call. Apparently, they had to do some testing again. I get a phone call around the 29th, roughly, or something like that. I kind of recall I was on the phone with a friend, and they're testing again. And it's just like, because at this point in time, it was a resident, but not on her floor, who had tested positive. So now they're testing you got to test everything, you got to make sure, you know. And so they even begin to explain to me today how this works. If it's an individual that have the symptoms and they're like in direct contact with the individual and they're positive, and if you're like not systematic and they're like how they'll notify the family. So if you have came in contact and you're not systematic, they don't even notify your family. But if you're systematic, then they'll notify your family. Now, in my case, and I'm kind of jumping ahead a notch. They did not even say some things. They left some things out with me. I have got different pieces, never no consistency, and I no consistency with this story whatsoever. Like I'm getting different pieces to the storyline whatsoever. Like I said, I'm thinking people telling me they thinking my mom been tested twice. She'd have been tested 4 times.
Now, do they let you know? Like, how does that work? When they need to be tested, do they tell the family members?
This is what. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, do they tell the family members or POAs or the closest person to them? We're going to test them, or do they just do it without your knowledge?
They will do it without your knowledge if they test what I was told today, an entire building.
Oh,
They
okay.
will not notify you. Now,
Okay.
to me, I just still don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. You still should notify. You still should notify the next of kin or whoever is, like you said, the POA, the the spouse or whatnot, whoever is listed as the kin or whoever is listed on the paperwork. Period. That's how I feel. I know they got their own way of doing things. Now, if again, and this is kind of how I guess we got into this, they said if a person, even if they're not even systematic, if they're asymptomatic, they don't they don't notify. But if you're positive, if the person's positive, they'll notify you.
Wow. Well,
So it's kind of like they pick and choose what they feel
mm-hmm.
is appropriate to contact the loved ones, which to me is a bunch of BS.
I don't know. Maybe they think it's just too much work. Like if every time they think might be a possibility somebody got it and they got to test everybody, then they got to call everybody, and then next
And
week.
that's what I said too. But I said that's just how I feel. But that is also the possibilities of it too, because that is a lot of work. Because when I talked to DHHS, that lady told me they had already took like over 10,000 calls in the last 2 weeks. They was already up to that amount from the time this thing started, and they didn't like tally. Yeah, so yeah, that could be a lot of work, even on just everybody's saying just if they did that, just imagine what the nursing homes done through. She even told me, like, for example, like on the labs, they did like 150 or 170 labs. Now this was just
hold on, I had a screen pop open. Sorry about that.
okay.
Go
Now,
ahead.
like just speaking of a lot of work, She said like they already had did like 150 to 170 labs,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like within the week. So we talking about only 11 to 12 results that came back like within like a day or so,
Mm-hmm.
because they just kind of trickle in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you told regarding? Because I've heard on news shows or news stories about different facilities, where the elderly live, or disabled nursing homes and whatnot. Sometimes you hear on the news so many people at a specific nursing home, patients have the corona. So what did they tell you about why they don't let people know publicly if they have any cases at the nursing home?
They said to me, DHHS, because I asked her, how come you guys don't talk about this on the media? Because the numbers, that's my thing. How come numbers is not a thing? How come it's simply because that is basically their privacy. But I'm questioning, how is that someone's privacy when you're not displaying names, you're not displaying faces. All
Mm-hmm.
you're doing is letting the public know that they have X amount of cases here at this facility. If they can give the facilities like the Florence home, they have a hotline that
Mm-hmm.
lets you know how many cases are at their facilities, because their facilities is Royal Oaks and also the House of Hope. And they'll let you know what they have. Like, for example, Royal Oaks, they don't have anything. House of Hope don't have anything. But Florence Home, when I checked them this evening, and they've told me different amounts, and this is funny, I'm bringing that up, I'm getting a little, yeah, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
See, they told me yesterday that it was 7 residents, 2 staff. Now this is where they infuriate me because they always giving me different information.
Mm-hmm.
Then this morning, okay, so I said 7 and 2 on yesterday. Then
Right.
this morning, when I talked to the DON, she tells me that they had 3 staff and 8 residents. But when I checked this evening, are you ready for it?
What?
Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Now, did you catch what I said yesterday? I was told 7 residents, 2 staff.
So that's
Earlier today,
uh-huh.
earlier today, I was told from the DON that it was 3 staff, 8 residents. I said, let me just call this line before I get on the hood table this evening.
So
Let me
it
just,
changed from 8. At first it was 3, and then it changed to 7, and
no,
then it changed to 8.
yeah, 7 and 2 on the staff,
Mm-hmm. And now
eight
it's
and
8.
three,
Yeah.
8 and 3. But this evening when I checked, it was 11 residents and 3 staff.
So it went to 7 to 8 to 11 residents in 24 hours.
And then from 2 to 3, on the staff.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? Um,
Oh, wait, I forgot to say this.
Go ahead.
With pending test after the DOA told me today that it wasn't even pending. Now, remind you, this was supposedly, that was the numbers earlier today when I talked to her. But something just said, before I get on the table, go ahead, call that line and see what it say.
And what
And
happened?
that's all. No, and that's what I said. The numbers had went increased
But see,
from
my
after
thing,
what she told me. one thing this morning.
And my thing is this. Remember, like, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 months ago, our governor had came under fire on MSNBC on Rachel Maddow's show. She had said on her national show that Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts should be ashamed of himself, and he will go down in history for what he's not doing, which is making the numbers in our packing houses and our nursing homes and our prisons be known.
Right.
And so he hit back at Rachel Maddow because and I'm reading it I'm reading it verbatim. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts fired back at MSNBC commentator Rachel Maddow, who criticized him for not letting anyone know what's happening with infections in the state's meatpacking plants, nursing homes, and prisons. Ricketts has said during his briefing that Maddow's claim was factually wrong because he had released aggregate information about the numbers of infections involving meatpacking workers and residents and staff at a nursing home. But I've never seen that. He said that Rachel Maddow on MSNBC has her own agenda and that she's spreading fake news and engaging in totally blind partisan gamesmanship.
Wow. Now, come on.
And then he said, this was a little while ago, so this didn't just happen yesterday. This was last month. Last month, he said that 1,005 of the state's 66,771 positive cases reported at the time involved meatpacking plant workers, and that 267 nursing home residents and 188 staffers at those facilities have tested positive. 57 of the state's 86 COVID deaths were involved with nursing home residents. So, but the thing is...
Wait a minute. Say that again. How many on the residents?
This was last month. They said 267 nursing home residents last month and 188 staff of those facilities last month tested positive. And 57 of our states, there's 86 people last month that died.
Okay.
And 86, 57 was involved nursing home residents. But where are these numbers being posted?
Where?
All right, because I haven't seen them on the news. And if somebody's watching and you know where the posts are, please let me know. Because when I saw that video, Rachel Maddow went in. I mean, she went in for about 4 minutes. And I had
I seen that
video. Yeah, I posted it like a month ago because everybody at that time, our packing houses in Nebraska kept closing down. And she even said that the people in Iowa need to be aware and they need to be cautious because some people work in Nebraska and drive back home to, Iowa. So he went in on our governor, big time. And then he went back at her saying that she's spreading fake news. Now, when you asked them why weren't they making the numbers public from the nursing home, they told you what?
Because they was basically worrying about the confidentiality of the residents. That's not in the first thing I thought about. How is that even? They ain't even talking about HIPAA. They basically they just worried about confidentiality. They don't want the privacy. The privacy is what they said.
But if what Governor Ricketts is saying is true, and that he is putting out these numbers, then
okay. Now look, now I can tell you. I mean, the mandated. Now I finally found it.
Okay.
Since we were on this, it was June the 11th. The state, okay,
mandated.
They received the testing. They received a mandate from the state, Florence home, to test the entire building. On June the 11th.
And I wonder, was there any cases back then on June 11th? Like, why would they mandate them to test everybody? Exactly. Unless they had cases.
So that's where it makes you say, it had to be some cases.
And you know what? If I remember correctly, I think at their other location, House of Hope, like a month or so ago, if I remember correctly, I could have sworn I heard something about somebody having certain individuals there having the virus.
Really? See?
This was like a month or so ago, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it, but
right. But just if your memory served you correctly, basically.
Right. But I just thought that, if you have somebody there in a nursing home, especially if you're one of those family members or next to kin who is always in the know, always visiting, always calling, supporting the person in there, that they will let you know if they need to test them for the coronavirus. I just would think they would let people know, but I don't know.
Just you would think, and like it's so catch-22ish or whatever, because it's like, okay, yeah, y'all might be real busy, but still, just because you would think common courtesy, hey, let me let this person's loved one know, because like you said, the next of kin, the person who's up there the most, the person who's always looking out or checking for that person. And here's the thing, like I said, that somebody have to be a voice for the elderly, because a lot of these people, and you experience and you see, a lot of these people don't even have people that come up there and visit them.
Yeah, and it's so sad. And nobody, and I'm glad you said that, because how long has it been since they not allowed visitors?
Oh my gosh, it has been like 3 months since I have actually went up there to physically be able to walk through the doors completely and go and just hold my mother's hand.
And the thing I was saying was, if people can't visit their loved ones because they think they might bring in a virus, what's the difference with nurses and staff and the cooks and the people who work in sanitation, keeping? If they come and go every single day, what's the difference? And I know they're probably practicing this because they want to keep the numbers down, but maybe they could incorporate something like once a week for an hour or two or something like that. Because if you can't visit your folks because they think somebody gonna bring the virus in, and they still getting the virus, they get the staff. Because if the nursing patients can't leave, they're getting it from the staff.
And I totally, and this is where
practicing precautions when they leave outside the workplace, know.
And this is like where I'm trying to get, where I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to keep a clear head, because I understand, staff got their life, and if it wasn't for the staff, who would be there to take care of my mom? But this is where I fault the state of the good life, the state of Nebraska, because they had this policy where it says, okay, green. This is what DHHS is telling me today. And they're like, green, well, that's where it's no signs or symptoms. And that's where they're talking about the mask and the type of mask. So they're saying if there was no signs or symptoms, when you have 0, then you can wear normal surgical masks, because you was asking me about the type of mask. This is the state of Nebraska's doing, you see. So this is where I fault them, because we have the staff, they're living their normal life outside because they have to. They still have to go to the store. They still have to be amongst their family. They still have to do everything. And then they still have to turn around and come and take care of our families. But yet the state of Nebraska say, oh, well, y'all don't have to wear an N95, or y'all don't have to wear this shield. Yet y'all knew this thing was up on a rise with a vengeance. Y'all have had, I mean, this thing has been talked about for a while. And then let me not mention Dr. Poor. Dr. Poor had her pulse on the finger of the thing, because her and the governor, and I don't know if you remember Dr. Poor, her first name, is it Allie? Allie Poor? She was in a lot of press conferences.
No.
She actually had her finger on the pulse of things. She actually put a lot of restrictions on stuff. When she was saying, "Hey, the nail salons, the masseuses, all this stuff need to be go ahead and shut down now." But the governor, because everybody's worried
They
about a
want to
dollar.
open the city back up because everybody come.
Everybody's worried about a dollar. Everybody's worried about them
And
coins.
that's why I ain't went got no nails done. I ain't got no nails. I
She
ain't
had
been
her
to get my hair did.
No, she
None of
had
that.
her hand. No, she had her finger on the. Her name is Addie, ADI, poor.
Okay.
She had her finger on the pulse of things and had stuff restricted in Douglas County. She was saying, "Hey, these things need to be restricted even before everything, like beforehand, to the
Mm-hmm.
point where people was even like threatening her
Mm-hmm.
because she knew this was nothing to play with."
Right.
But our wonderful state and our wonderful governor, Mr. Ricketts himself, because everybody is all about revenue. And this is where I said, and here I go, because this is my mind and the way I think. It's like, okay, well, you know what? These old people, I mean, let's off them. That's going to help us make more revenue because, hey, guess what? We don't have, this is more revenue for us. We don't have to spend all this money in Medicaid, and we don't have to do all this for insurance and
Mm-hmm.
all these meds. This is more funding, more revenue for our state, for our pockets,
Yeah.
financial gain. And when I said that to DHS today, we don't, they don't want you to call them out, but that's how I see it. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because why is it, and y'all know that these people are susceptible? Why would y'all call a thing and tell them to wear a surgical mask, knowing I don't care about who is possible high risk? Everybody now is high risk.
Everybody is high risk. Right.
Everybody is high risk. What?
I
What are
know
you saying to me? Are you
there's people who die here in Nebraska and some of them are young. They didn't
get
have
out of here?
health conditions. They aren't in no nursing home. So I think
Exactly.
everybody is at risk. Every time we walk out that door, we
Hmm.
are at risk. And we have to go. We have to go to the store. And even if somebody
Exactly.
brings you your groceries, they're touching all over your stuff and bringing your
Yeah.
groceries to your house or
Yeah.
your food. So yeah, I think we're all susceptible.
We're also, as soon, I always say this, as soon as I open my door
Hmm.
and walk out
And
on
it's in
that
the
porch.
air, and it can last in the air like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
The droplets or whatnot. So I just don't get why they not using those. What do you call those masks again?
The M95s, why
Yeah,
they were not?
using that in the first place. I can see
Because
like
that's what
maybe
they said.
grocery stores or restaurants or the place. I can see other
Oh,
places just wearing a surgical mask or a
because they're worried about if you don't wear them appropriately. And this is their whole thing. And I'm sure maybe that you've heard that
if you don't wear them. What?
appropriately. I
What
don't
happened?
know if you heard about how if you don't wear the M95, you're doing harm to yourself. That's a very big thing with them about the M95. That was in the news, and even they brought that back up too.
Oh wow. Oh,
Well, they even
I should have hit my cousin up who's a nurse and asked her about that. You know what?
they actually mentioned that. Um,
I'm about to inbox her right now. We had her on our show before, and
okay,
she was on CNN. Angela, Nurse
okay,
Angela, she was on
uh-huh.
CNN like a month ago. They interviewed
Because
her.
I guess they said that M95 Max also have to be fitted,
Uh,
and if it's worn improperly, it's not going to protect you if you wear it improperly. This
and
is
you
what
said it's
DH.
called the what? M95.
Yes, she said if it's worn improperly, it is not going to protect you. It must be fitted.
Okay. I'm gonna see if
This
she
is what
hit
they're
me
telling
back.
me.
Hey, Miss Natalie Norlands, how you doing, love? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you have any input on anything, like if you're seeing a spike of increase of patients with COVID in your area, or if you work at a nursing home, or if you're a nurse, feel free to drop some comments in the chat. Or if you like, I can pull you onto the screen. I can give you a link and you can jump on the screen and talk to us about it. Now, I do know that we had my cousin who's a nurse on here, Angela Felton Coleman, or Coleman Felton, and we had her on here like maybe 2 months ago, and we interviewed her about it, and that was way before they opened the cities back up. And she was telling me about the different masks that they have to wear at work. So I just assume, and maybe I was just being, I don't know, ignorant. I just assume that those same masks that they wear at the hospital, they wear at any facility dealing with any patients, whether it's a nursing home, retirement home, a hospital. I just assume. I didn't know that they just wear regular masks like we can just buy in the grocery store, or you know, at the
right
beauty supply. You know,
yeah,
they sell them like $5 for $1. You know, I mean $5 for $5, something like that. You know, in the store.
And that's the thing. Like, she was trying to make me understand, like, trying to tell me basically that they're for like staff with that's dealing with high risk people with the Rona. You know what I mean? And then another thing that I thought was interesting that that she kept stressing to me is that, like I was talking about, the improper wearing of the mask, but they tried to convince me, and it was something she said. She changed it, but she said that she did not want me to think that they forgot about the nursing home. It was something she said initially about the governor, but she switched it up. She wanted me to know that they didn't forget about the nursing home, but that they just started late as a country, thinking, it was a pandemic, and she don't understand how they didn't see it. She tried to clean it up. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like these people are doing their dirty work. It's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because like I said, here it is, the numbers, as I just showed you how they just changed. Like I watched
It was
how
24 hours. They said 7 residents, 11 residents, then no 7 residents,
7,
9,
8.
yeah, 7, 8,
No,
then
it's
11.
7, 8, and then 11.
And that's within 24 hours. Isn't that crazy? Like by tomorrow,
Yeah.
is it going to
Oh,
be?
and you forgot the pending. There's pending tests.
Oh
And
yeah, they got
remind you,
people. Oh
she
my
told
god.
me this morning there was no more pending. Like, that's what because I asked her, was there any more pending? You know what I mean? It's like they never can back up anything. Because at first, initially, they told me that my mom just had chills this morning. But then when I speak to the director of nursing today, I find out that my mom had all the symptoms yesterday. I'm talking about the shortness of breath. I'm talking about the aches and pains. I'm talking about the chills. She had thank God it was a low grade fever.
Okay, now you said last week that they had told you she had like a fever, right? And then they told
Hmm.
you it had went down. That's
It
like
was supposedly for something else.
okay,
Okay.
okay. They thought she
That
had
was for
something
something
else,
else.
so they
No,
just
and I had to
had a
tell them,
cold or
I
something.
thought it was something else. I told them I thought it was something else because again, I have had issues with this facility for a period of time because my mom, and it's nothing to hide, my mom, she not only had dementia, but my mom suffered several strokes. So my mom, very thank God that she's still blessed and fortunate to be here. You know what I'm saying? But my mom had multiple strokes, and we had to leave her under the doctor's order there because it's not like we could take care of her. You know what I mean? So basically, I had to have them check her. But I was thinking, I said, well, God, I said, now y'all say that. whenever a loved one have a symptom, y'all notify family member. But here it is. I am telling y'all, well, maybe y'all need to do this or need to do that. They contact me and let me know that she's running fever. Now, any other time, y'all always contact me and let me know stuff. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because I found out that on June 11th and June 15th, they had administered my mom 2 more COVID tests. This is why I said my mom had 4 tests. Now, the other 2, they had let me know about. But I was baffled because I'm looking like, whoa, wait, I was like, first of all, y'all called me yesterday. I'm at work telling me she's positive. First of all, when did she get another test that I wasn't aware about?
Yeah, that's what
I
I
know
was
nothing
wondering.
about it.
Like, do they just keep giving them these tests and giving them these tests without telling their next of kin or their loved ones or the ones who's always inquiring and visiting them? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I said, I don't know the policies and the rules up there at the nursing homes, but
it is based upon if it's a whole full facility thing. They're not contacting, as I stated earlier. If it is a person that has systematic, then they're gonna contact. By if you having symptoms, then they contact you. Well, if my mom had all these symptoms, how come y'all didn't contact Florence?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they feel like,
Wait, but first, excuse me, but first she just had chills. Y'all still didn't call me and said she had a chill. I gives a darn. I gives a damn, better yet.
oh, I'm
If
sorry.
she have a chill,
Grace said her hearts go out to you. Her father was sent to a nurse home in February. We only got to see him a couple of times before they stopped visitation. We're laying him to rest Saturday. Oh my God.
thank you, Grace. My condolences and prayers to you.
That is so sad. And that's why I was telling you earlier, like, y'all can't even visit y'all family members and they still catching the virus up there.
And they still catching the virus. That's what's pissing me off, because I'm like, I ain't seen my mama in all this time. I said I could have brought it to her.
And then
I'm up here making sure, like, it was very hard for me. Like on Mother's Day, I believe it was around Mother's Day, and I had purchased some flowers and all these things, and they had brought her down, and she was right there at the door, and I was this close to grabbing her hand that I had to tell her. I said, "Mama, I want to touch you, but I can't, because here it is. I'm worried about giving her COVID."
Right.
But yet, are you serious?
Right.
But yet,
they still catching it down there. So that's why I was saying, like, I wonder if they thought about making some special type of arrangements where, I mean, if they're catching it now and y'all haven't seen y'all family members in 3 months or more.
They initially had told me that they were thinking they were supposed to have been getting ready to let us start coming back up there. Now, they ain't letting us come up there because now COVID.
Nope.
And this would have been the beginning of this month when they had told me, because I'll be down there, honey. I'll be posting, I'll be like, bring mama to the window. I'm down there. I can't even see out the window. The window got a glare. I'm up there waving. She talking about she didn't see me. I'll run to the store, go grab her some flowers. Can y'all give that to my mama? Whatever, anything. I want my mama to know that I love her. I'll do whatever it takes. I just want her to know that's why I moved back to Omaha, Nebraska, is because of my mama. And one thing, and I'm making this very clear, and Florence home, y'all hear me well, y'all already know how I am about my mama. I do not play about Margaret Barnes. Yes, I put her name out there because if anybody know me, they know Margaret Barnes. And yes, I will say it. That's my little fat girl, and I don't care.
Oh,
I love her.
I know you do not play about your mama. I know you don't, child.
I will kick up dust.
I was the
You
same way
know.
with mine. Rest in peace. I was the same way with mine to the very end.
Yes, rest in peace. Such a sweet lady. Such a sweet lady.
Yes,
You
he was.
know, and it's just it's frustrating. You know what I mean? And like today, it's like the nurse was even rude when I'm trying to like contact my mom because you know she has dementia on top of it. So you know, being in isolation, so like the phone might be ringing and she might not know that it's ringing. You know what I mean? She might not. You know, whatever, you know, because I done bought this lady phones, girls, she done threw them in the trash or took them to somebody's room. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that ringing might be to her. So
Yeah.
I calls up there today and I'm like, hey, I was wondering if you can go to the room and pass her the phone. Do you know what she told me? She
What?
said, no, she was like, because quiet hours is from 1 to 4. And right now we're busy. I said, oh, okay, this is isolation for because at first I had wanted to take her.
Uh-oh, your camera went away.
I'm sorry, I was fighting
Hold
with my
on, let
dog.
me say something before you let me say something. So you haven't seen your family and hugged them, touched them, none of that in 3 months or so. So basically there's no outside traffic coming in. And you call to check on somebody that they're telling you they have to keep testing them for the COVID. She's been sick, fever, and they tell you they busy and they can't take the phone and it's quiet time and you ain't got to
From
visit
1 to 4.
family members.
From 1 to 4.
I
But
would just
wait, but it's like 10:45 a.m. But I should call back between 1 to 4. But it's quiet time from 1 to 4. So why in the hell I'm thinking I'm calling back from 1 to 4 and it's quiet time? Because that's nap time. That's nap time 1 to 4. I said, all right. Cause see, I gotta remember my mom is there under their care right now, and I gotta think of her best interest, and I gotta think smart because really, I'm not feeling like I wanna be. I gotta learn how to control the anchor because Pastor was just talking about that online Sunday. But yeah. Are you serious? I'm going through all this. I ain't seen my mom, like you said, in how many months? About 3. Then y'all steady testing my mama for COVID. Then not only is y'all testing her, hell, she positive.
she been sick
She been sick.
and you call to talk to her and they tell you we busy.
Time about it's quiet time from 1 to 4, and it's 10:45 a.m. Oh, y'all just must got just how many patients? Y'all had 7 on the isolation unit. Then it went from 7 to 8 to okay.
So 11, that's amazing. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word to say amazing. That's crazy, I should say. From 7 to 11 patients in 24 hours. I really hope that the number doesn't increase because that's a nice jump in 24 hours. A nice jump
Hey,
from
they
7.
starting to make me feel like they DH Douglas County Hospital.
I mean, I don't know.
You
That's
you remember how Douglas County Hospital was jumping?
oh
And
yeah.
I didn't know that was not even a hospital. That's a nursing home now.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nursing home. Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know, but because I
Yeah.
ain't been back but a couple years,
I
but
mean, people
still, I'm like,
people still go there for medical care, though. You
oh,
know,
okay, I didn't know.
people still can
Okay,
go there for medical care because
yeah.
That's where Pops was going. You know,
Oh, okay,
before.
yeah, yeah, okay,
But
yeah. And
I did.
this whole
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. It's just all crazy. This whole house, man. Look, and then I had asked him about the labs. Okay, so if you're telling me the labs take first, I was told 24 to 48 hours. Then I was told 24 to 5 days, 24 hours to 5 days,
5 days.
up to 5 days, yep, depending on what lab that they utilize.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, I
Yep.
had heard. I think I had heard in the beginning when all this stuff hit the fan that it does take like 5 days. But I'm thinking just regular folk, like us, if we were going to get tested. But I was in a facility that they would rush it because they got so many people in there with underlying health conditions. So I would think they wouldn't wait or use a facility where it takes 5 to 7 days or something like that to get the answers back or the
right. And I got thinking about what you said. I got to piggyback way back when you was talking about how you got maintenance, you got your food service, your dietary and whatnot, right? So they said if they were, let's say now that because like they have this case in there, if they go into a unit, they also have to wear the surgical mask, not the surgical mask, but the N95 and the shields also.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, including like what is it called? Environmental services, your housekeeping basically or whatnot. So, and I was also explained to today, depending on if that person in that unit don't have it, they don't have to wear it in that unit. But if on the other unit, if a person having it, if they have to go to that resident, then they have to wear it in that unit.
Okay.
That's how they're treating this.
So, and my cousin did hit me back too. She said, who is a nurse, and a doctor.
All right, come on, doctor.
All kind of degrees.
Nurse doctor.
He's brilliant.
Nursing doctor.
Been on CNN and everything, interviewed. But she said that if you aren't wearing it right, like you said, it won't protect you the way it's supposed to. She said you have to be fit tested for an N95 because there are multiple sizes and you have to have the correct mask size for it to work properly. So yeah.
Okay.
She co-signed that.
Okay.
But still, I still would think that any medical facility should be using those. And I don't know why. I really wish we could talk to somebody who actually worked in the nursing home or something, because
somebody who worked for the state of Nebraska. No, I think somebody who worked for the state of Nebraska, because I have a problem with the whole fact the green no signs are symptoms, and you don't have to wear those things if you don't carry the symptoms. That doesn't make sense because, like I said earlier, by being in a nursing home, they're automatically more receptive. I don't care about them talking about first responders and doctors and if you're in ICU and emergency. These people are...
Is if you think, like if you work there, if you think you've been around somebody with the Rona, then let us know. Then you wear the N95. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And what you're doing, you're profiling. You are profiling. You're looking at your doctor.
We don't know what these people doing when they leave the facility.
They're profiling. No, they're profiling. How are you going to put your doctors and your EMTs? You're putting all of them in a bracket, and you're putting all your CNAs and them down here. Like do you see what I'm saying? What they're doing? You're profiling. You're putting them in a certain social bracket. In my eye, this is in my opinion, is how they're doing it. When everybody, because they're going to go ahead and make sure that they have the equipment first. Because remember, there was a shortage on this equipment.
Right.
There was a shortage on this equipment because New York really needed all of the N95s. They had a big shortage out on the East Coast.
Right. I remember. Yep.
So this was a mandatory need. But still, I don't care. We are in the Midwest. I don't care. I still feel when it comes to our nursing home facilities, when it comes to our quality living facilities, people, they are still
care, short-term care,
long-term, short-term, all of the care. They're still frontline too. I mean, come on now, man. It's like y'all picking and choosing again. And I said that's all politicking to me because now it's about revenue. In my eye, this is my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's how I see it.
The reason why they don't post publicly any cases they might have, they saying is because of the HIPAA. But if you're not,
they ain't even saying HIPAA. They're just saying, because for privacy. They ain't even saying privacy.
That's
No,
HIPAA.
they're not. No, they're not even saying privacy. What is she? Wait,
Because
I want to
HIPAA
use
is
her exact.
privacy.
No, no, no. I want to use her exact words. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me give you her exact words. Because I know HIPAA is privacy. That's not what she
Yeah,
said. I'm
deals
gonna
with
give you her
privacy
exact.
information, their conditions, their diagnosis, their
Hmm.
name.
Because we wasn't even hitting that. Let me see. She said people. I'm gonna give you. I want to make sure I just hit it. But I mean, in so many words, she was just like, "Well, we don't want to, you know." But we're not giving anything HIPAA. We're just talking
Right.
about giving the actual facilities
And
information.
and Governor Pete Ricketts just said last month that the numbers are out there somewhere. He said that
Where
they
are they?
releasing the numbers to the packing houses and the prisons and the nursing homes. That's what he said after he was blasted, by Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. And that's why I had posted like a month or so ago. I said, do Nebraska really even know the real numbers here? Because if you're not
Mm,
posting that information, like Rachel Maddow said on her show, how many people do you think might come in contact with the COVID in the prisons? When everybody is right on top of each other and you have people coming in and out of the prisons, like even if it's only staff
okay.
is the ones who are bringing in the COVID in a lot of these medical facilities. That's why I said if you are a family or a friend or wanted to visit, they might as well have like a special day, a special time frame, because if they bring in the virus in themselves.
I actually know of a facility here in the city. I have a friend. She's in a long-term living facility, and she told me they allow them to have a gate visit or whatever with their loved ones.
And that would be cool. Yeah, even something
That's
like that.
cool. You know what I'm saying? Like where
Yeah.
they got to visit their loved one at the gate or whatever. Okay, whatever. It's nice outside, you know.
And what about the Anderson Center? Like if you come in the Anderson Center, like if all the visitors come in the Anderson and just stay in that area and they roll the residents around through the glass because it's all glass on the outside and you can
Now
still
here I go. Here I go. Here I
I'm
go. Don't do it. You done did it. They lazy. They don't want to do nothing. That's why. They don't want to have to deal with each and every individual patient, pushing them back and forth. That one time a week or however is facility. That's my opinion because what I've seen there. Because a lot of people are in this just for the paycheck. They don't even care about these residents because my mama have been there for, like I said, it's been 12 years as of Memorial Weekend.
wow,
My
has it been
mama's
that long?
it's been that long, and
I remember
I
you
can
used to come
remember it
in
like
and
it was
out of
yesterday.
town. You used to come
In
in
and out of town to see about my mama.
and then you finally
Okay,
moved back home. Some just told you you need to just move back.
this last time I knew that because there have been incidences on Florence home, and I'm gonna speak on it, where my mama was so sick where it was nobody but God that told me to get up there. And then I get up there this last time that made me stay. And they was like, oh, well, we were going to check her. She burning up in fever. I was getting ready to hit the highway and leave to go back up north. She burning up sweat. But if I hadn't came and it was nobody but God because I could not, like, I could not go to sleep the night. I usually hit the highway 6 o'clock. Boom. I'll go see her the night before. All right, love you. I'm on a highway. Could not sleep that night. Get up, go. I get in the shower.
I
God was
remember
like,
you
go
used to
see.
always come at nighttime.
Go. God was like,
Mhm.
go see her so you don't have no regrets. I'm like, what? Go see her so you don't have no regrets. It's 8 in the morning. I'm already running late. I need to get on the highway. I
See,
heard
you gotta
his
listen.
voice. Go see her so you don't have no regrets. I get up there. She burning up with fever. We had just discharged her, brought her back to the nursing home, and she had been there for a week, burning up. And they talk about, oh, we was getting ready to come in here and check on her. This is what I'm talking about. I already had issues with Florence home. I done drove all the way from Minnesota to meet the ombudsman which is actually the person who's all over all the nursing homes for the state of Nebraska. So I done drove all the way from Minnesota to meet with them at the Florence home about other issues and things because of documentations and because people are not charting appropriately. Like, come on, like get the facts right. Like, what's wrong with y'all?
It's so sad. I mean, I know there are situations where that's what you have to do. You have to put them in those facilities. I know this, but I swear I always told my kids, don't do it, don't do it. I mean, it's just like it's kind of like a family tradition with our
Yeah.
family where people
Hmm.
they be at home.
Yeah.
It gets down to the last. My great grandma, my grandma's sisters and brothers, and my
Hmm.
grandpa, and even my mom and
That's
great
beautiful.
aunts. I mean,
Yes.
they're always at home. And
Hmm.
they're at home, and during the last days, everybody comes visit, say their goodbyes, and they close their eyes at home. But I
At
know
home.
it's not always that way. People have families, children, jobs, live out of town. So, you have to, or in certain situations, if they have dementia or things like that and they need 24-hour care, you can't
Hmm.
stay home. So in situations like that, I can't imagine how difficult it is when you think that things aren't going the way they supposed to go,
Yes.
with your loved ones, and
Yeah, because that was like one of the hardest things to relocate and go back. And I remember I had discussed with my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm gonna go back." And she actually gave me her okay. And I remember she told me, she said, "Baby, go live your life." She said, because there are people who don't want to see you make it out here. So you go and live your life. And I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to go. But just because I left, that wouldn't mean you think I'm not going to come back here and check on my little girl or whatever she want. Girl, I better come back here and see about that lady. I'd be crazy if I didn't. Shoot, whatever she wants, she gets it.
Mhm.
Because that's mama, and we only get one. And I thank God it took me to get to the point where she became sick. And I share this and I want people to understand this. I don't care where you are with your parent. I
Mhm.
don't care what you have been through. That is your parent. And
Yeah.
me and my mom wasn't the closest. And it took for her to get sick for me to appreciate her and gain a relationship. And I remember that I had to God, once again, here I go, because I'm a spiritual person. I ain't religious, because religious is politicking.
Right.
See, that's when you have that relationship. You can talk to him and he can talk to you. That's
Right.
what I got. But he said, what you do, take the moment you have now and you create new
New
memories.
memories. Hmm.
Create the new. And so with that, that's why I go so hard for mine. And that's why Florence home, y'all done messed up. Because we don't do that in the state of Nebraska. We don't do that. So I have an issue with you all now. And please remember, see this face. Know this face because I'm coming. And I don't play when it comes to mama. Know that.
Mm.
You heard it from me on the table tonight.
Well, I am going to keep your mother in my prayers. I know her personally. Um,
Yes.
we grew up together,
Yes. We
and
have history.
we
We
have
have great history, man.
we have history, and I
Our
know,
parents, our
yeah,
parents go back
both
together. Oh,
raised
your
up
mom,
in
such a
religious
dear. Oh,
households. Yes, yes. And trust me, I miss my mom. I miss my mom.
yes,
But like
yes.
I said, I couldn't imagine um, having her in a facility. And the thing about it was when it got to that point, and the doctor said you have this many weeks left.
Mm,
You know how they approximately, And I asked her, I said, "Ma, do you want to go to a nursing home?" And she was at her weakest, had got down to like 90 pounds from like 170. And I
mm,
was like, "Do you want to be in a nursing home?" Because you don't discuss that stuff. you know, you don't discuss death. Family just don't discuss that stuff. And so I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my God, we got a few weeks left. What to do? And I'm like, do you want to go into nursing home or do you want to stay home? And she was just like, she just started crying. I want to go home. I want to go home. So I called the visiting nurse or, you know, the visiting nurse association, got the beds, got the meds, got the, you know, all the meds they give you, the pain medicine and all that kind of stuff. And my brother, my youngest one, had just started a job. He quit. He was like, if she's gonna stay home, she got to have 24-hour care. Even though the visiting people come out like twice a week, or you can call, but you know they only come out like a few times a week. So we literally did that. We took shifts. I would go in the evening.
Yes.
My brother would be in the daytime while my dad was at work. My other brother would do the overnights when he got off of work. So she had 24-hour care. But again, I know everybody can't do that. You just there's certain situations where they have to be in a nursing home and you have to depend and rely on somebody else to take care of them. And I know you said before that there are some people who just there for a paycheck. I know there are those people, but I do know
there are people who care.
People who I know people personally that I know I can say, I can bet money that they really there because they care. But then I know some that I'll just be like, now you know you need to find another job.
And excuse me, I do not want to take no credit. The reason why my mom had been at that facility for so long, there are some staff members there. I will not take this from the Florence home. Okay? There is some staff there who are excellent, who are loving, who love my mom. I'm talking about who give her stuff. I'm talking about, I'm like, what you doing with an MK purse? Like, what?
And
like, I'm talking
is
about.
a very close friend of mine. One of them, I ain't gonna say her name, but she's been on our show before. But you know who I'm talking about.
I'm talking about love Miss Barnes, okay? Love Margaret, okay? Love her. And I'm talking about, you know, and then there have been situations where I've had to tell some of them that I will knock off their head because they have stole stuff from my mom. And it came back. It came back because it was an instant. Yeah, like I had bought her this diamond necklace, and I was like, where's her necklace? And it appeared on her TV. I'm like, now how did it reappear on the TV? You know what I'm saying? So there's always pros and cons to everything. So that's
and
one
it's
thing
a
I
shame that
won't
you have
take.
to be careful with that too, because I know that there's people who do steal. But I'm not just putting that on them. That's at any facility.
That's at any facility. That's at any facility. And that's where you have to be careful with who you hire in the screening process, etc. So that's the one thing I won't take away from it because there are people who do love, like you said, and I'm glad you mentioned that, who there are people who genuinely love their patients. I'm talking about, baby, mama, she have this little thing. And she'd be like, ooh, wait, ooh, wait. I said, okay. She get excited. And so she called all the women, she called them sister. So they be like, sister. They know sister like a piece of chicken or something, you know. And, you know, she done lost so much weight she really barely eats. She just eat just real like just
small portions,
in small portions. Which is funny because I'm kind of starting to get like that now myself in my older years, which is weird. But we always was kind of like that anyway. But I'm talking about they just love on her. You know what I mean? There are people who and that's why I never moved her because I had a fear that she would decline if I had moved her because I seen that happen on so many occasions with people. I've seen it happen with loved ones. Because it was something you said that is beautiful how, you know, your family, y'all stay at home. Because I have family too who also take care of family like that. And we've had loved ones go back home and they went ahead and transitioned at home. You know, but that's the one thing, that's why I kept her there. And I had friends who actually have worked at that facility, and I have associates now who still do, and there are people, I have staff there now who is near and dear to my heart. And I appreciate all of the ones who are there now, even the ones that that just I appreciate the
Yeah,
fact that
I know what you mean.
they're on the line, and I
Mhm.
appreciate that because I appreciate the ones who take care and do look after my mom.
Right.
This is where I have to be like, okay, I gotta keep an open head. I gotta. It's two
Mhm.
sides to every coin. There's two sides to every coin. I gotta keep the
Yeah.
pros and the cons. I gotta, be even headed. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna lie, I can go ziggity boom like in
Oh,
1.5.
I know. I know.
1.5. You know what I'm saying? But so it's this is a very interesting journey. I have learned a lot. I'm still digging, because my whole thing right now is it's not just my mom. Yes, of course, it's about my mom, but it's also a voice for these elderly people out here. People need to know
Right.
what's going on out here in this facility because there are a lot of people who is not calling the hotline. Because I ain't gonna lie, me as a person, like that's like kind of weird. I don't want to call. Hey, I watch the news, and I would rather to see what's going on out here by the news. A lot of people
Right.
would.
Right.
I'll call and check it sometime, don't get me wrong, but just call the number all the time and see, well, let's see how many new cases of COVID. No, I
Right.
feel personally, the state of Nebraska, I feel that they're wrong for that. I feel that they should at least say, well, hey, these are the numbers. It's not like we're saying the names. You're not violating any type of HIPAA
And
law by
that's what I'm
saying
saying. Like,
numbers.
it's a privacy issue. That's what I don't get. And that's why I don't know, maybe I'll get a chance to talk to somebody um
And I'm saying that's what
higher
she
up
said, but she
with, you
paraphrased it.
know,
I was trying to get exactly what she said, but when I say see, I got so much information today. I am in overload because I was just appalled and I was just trying to type everything down. And I was going to sit down and write everything out, but I remembered a lot of stuff. I'm looking at stuff, but the one thing that oh, I didn't. This is one thing that I asked too. What happens when a person tests positive, like my mom? She's in quarantine there. So at first I was like, well, God, do we need to send her to the hospital? Well, do you know they said that in order to go to the hospital, it had to be considered a medical reason.
mhm. But
So that's not a medical reason.
you know what I remember is how they used to tell people when remember the regular flu?
Mm-hmm,
Every time somebody caught the regular flu,
mm-hmm,
and they would tell visitors they're not having any visitors for a week or so. Or,
mm-hmm.
we can't have no visitors on this specific floor. But now that it's the COVID, they don't want to release any information. And this
Mm-hmm.
is like 10 times or more worse than the regular flu. So that's the part that I don't understand. Like they would be quick to say, "Oh, we got too many patients on this floor with the flu. You can't come back tomorrow. Try again." But now they don't want to release any information.
Because
And if you say it's coming from the state down, I still
mm-hmm,
don't get it. I still don't get it because again, like when Rachel went off on our governor a month or so ago, saying he's hiding numbers from the prison, hiding numbers from the packing plants, and hiding numbers from the nursing home. He said that those numbers he's putting out there, but again, somebody please tell me where the numbers are. Are they being posted every week, every month? Where are they? What channel? What website?
right,
Because why would this
where
on C and MSNBC have this
it,
information that our governor is not making these plants and prisons and nursing homes put out the information, and then after he's blasted, then he's on there, oh, she's just spreading fake news, she just has a personal agenda against me, we post the numbers out, and I'm like,
and then here you go with these nursing homes. Why don't they want to put their numbers out there?
right, because
This
they
is a
did, I
this
mean,
is a great this is a great example
it was
to
nothing when the flu would go around
it
at
was
that particular
nothing.
facility.
They
It was
would,
nothing.
advertising, but now we want to keep it hush hush. And that was one of the things that when I talked to DHHS earlier, I asked him, I said, well, how come I see some facilities advertised like Elkhorn, for example, when
Right.
they was
Some
on the news?
facilities they'll say we got this many numbers.
That is
But
because This is what they told me. That's because somebody had a phone and somebody called the news. That's not because Elkhorn called them, because
Oh,
they're not going to call them. That's because somebody else then called the media
so
and
somebody like
reported it.
you who reached out to.
Somebody like me who done reached out to KETV 7 twice, and I'm going to make it 3 times
Oh,
tomorrow.
you reached out to KTV too? How many times?
Yes, twice. Called them yesterday and today. So I'll be calling them again tomorrow. It's
Wow.
real.
Wow.
Because it's like I feel the community.
Needs
People
to
need to
know.
know. They need to know that there is 11 residents currently with pending, which I was told earlier today that there was only 8 with no pending. How did it go from no pending with 8 to 11 with pending?
It
On
went from
just
7
today.
to
On
8
just today.
to
7 to
11
8 to 11
to pending more.
to pending more.
I
When it
pray
was
it's no
supposedly no
more.
more pending.
I hope it's no more because in 24 hours, it went up 4 numbers.
That's asinine. That's like,
And nobody on the outside gets to visit.
this is all,
It's all staff bringing in the infection.
within, it's all, exactly, it's all within. So, pardon me, it's like, yeah, so, and then
I
here it
feel your
is, you
concern. I
guys,
see why you're concerned. I really do.
you see my concern, because it's like, matter of fact, I was even told one of the staff that was on my mother's floor,
Mm-hmm.
she still have it. It's been 2 months.
Ooh.
It's
2
been 2 months for her. And this is my concern too, because this young individual, I'm assuming a lady, because usually it's more ladies. That's just my assumption. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But apparently she entered my mother's room. Now, like I said, my mom had all these tests, and she had all came back negative, all 3 of them. But number 4 just happened to be positive.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Lucky her. But God's good, because I know that He's a healer and He is going to heal her. I'm trusting and believing. But it's just like, are you serious? Like, and then the thing, it just really trips me out how you tell me that she had chills only, and then it goes from the director of nursing ended up telling me that she had all the symptoms apparently on Monday, like the fever, the sore throat, the fatigue, the shortness of breath, and the achy.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all didn't even call me. See, this is now that's the problem I have with Florence home. See, that's the problem I have with y'all right there. Y'all didn't call me. That's my problem with y'all. Stuff like that.
Well, I
Yeah.
really hope that she gets better. I really do.
Thank you. I really truly appreciate that.
This virus, and that's why, even though they open up the city, I be at home. I'm like, I think I've been to 2 people's houses, and one of them yours. Like what?
Yes.
3 weeks ago? 2.
About 3 weeks ago, roughly. And I'm sorry, I have to. I'm so sorry, but I got the exact word what DHS said. I knew I had it here. You ready to hear what they
What?
said?
Yeah, what they say?
They said notifying the public could be considered a violation. It's not a requirement as far as contacting, notifying media. They're only required to report
Okay.
to the health department, or if your family member has been in direct contact.
But
This is what they're saying. And so, of course, this
for
is
them to
all.
text your mother 4 times, wouldn't that make you think that they've been in direct contact? So they posted to the. So I guess what the governor was saying is that the nursing homes and prisons and I mean, the packing plants, they notify the health department, and then is the health department supposed to notify us? Because I have yet to see anywhere about any prison or nursing homes, or I mean, I hear about ones in different like counties and different cities, and but not here in Douglas County. And again, if somebody in the chat knows where we can find that information, that would be helpful. But the thing about it is, do they release like which nursing homes, or do they just say this month we got 100 cases in nursing home facilities?
Exactly. Which one
Because
is it?
if they're not releasing the exact locations, I don't think that's right either.
That's not right.
You don't know if your family member is at a location with it or not. And then if they're doing testing without telling you about it, and
exactly,
I don't know.
I mean, it's just too many, and it's just like they have, like, why do you guys have all these stipulation on a disease like this? Out of all things, something as serious as this. Why do y'all have all these stipulations?
If y'all don't tell anybody about it, I would think y'all would let the family members of people who got relatives there know.
I'm crying out loud. This is a whole freaking pandemic.
You know, we got some cases right now. We're quarantining people because it seems to me like, and that's just my opinion, that you guys haven't been there in 3 months because maybe there have been cases. There's been cases there.
Yeah.
And instead of allowing visitors, maybe they've been quarantining. And if they're not telling people or their families or the media, who knows how many cases been at the nursing home?
And then, you know, from talking to the nurse from DHHS, that the spike is getting ready to hit within the next 2 weeks.
Well, exactly. And then, you know, like it's about to be July. They talking about the next wave is about to come.
The next wave.
And that's why I'll be chilling at home. I done been to 2 people's houses in like 4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to the grocery store, I go get my gas, and that's about it. I watch my church on Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
You know, my pastor you know, Facebook twice a week, Bible study, Sunday, you know, service. I watch it on Facebook. I'm not playing with this mess because the thing about it, we can walk out right now and be outside for an hour and catch it.
Literally.
By just restocking up on eggs and milk.
That is the thing that, you know, we were discussing. Even she said that she believed that there has not, and this was her opinion, the nurse from DHS says, that we don't test enough systematic individuals out here. Because there are a lot of people out here carrying it. They don't have symptoms.
But they can spread it.
And then that's the thing. You know, I was watching Daily Blast earlier, and there was like, they were having a discussion about the spreading of it. And, you know, like, and here's the big thing right now, and I was thinking about it, like, unfortunately, due to protesting, that's been a big spreader. Due to the protesting, that has been a huge spreader.
I did go out and protest once. I forgot about that.
Okay.
After Jake Gardner killed James Skurlock, I did
okay.
But I did try to stay away from. I stayed like on the opposite side of the fence where everybody was standing for the protest, and you know,
right. So, and you know, and this is what I want to say: there are individuals out here who do not, and I'm coming back. Because I had to get some information, because I would like to share with people that if people are interested in getting the test, and I strongly suggest that get it. You know what I mean? Because I actually personally
Charles Drew. That's what I heard recently.
I was told today at CVS.
Okay.
You can go to the CVS Minute Clinic.
Okay.
That's what's taking me so long because I have to look in this phone to get it. But yeah,
That's
so
okay.
if you go to the CVS Minute Clinic, um, and you can order the actual kit itself
Okay.
and administer it to yourself. Because I haven't had it, and I was thinking when she said that, I'm like, man, I really try not, but I go to stores,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what she said. Not, she said, I'm not telling you to lie because my dad's 90, but you can kind of stretch it a little bit. You work with him from time to time. You're putting him at high risk just so you can go ahead and get that administered.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Because you said Charles Drew, CVS,
Yeah, that's
because,
what I heard. Somebody had posted in our The Hood Table Facebook group that Charles Drew.
okay,
Yeah, there's a lady in
yeah,
the
because,
Carla Prince. Matter of fact, she's in the chat right now. She might not be
okay,
still in the chat, but she did comment around 9:50 p.m. But Carla Prince, I
okay,
think, was the one who posted that in the Hood Table. She always posts some good information in the Hood Table Facebook group, and it was
okay, I'm going to have to go check that out.
yeah, they're got testing. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what, y'all, this thing is real, and I understand, people at first, and I question stuff, because everybody was like, oh, it's a 5G thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's this
I don't
thing, it's
believe that.
that thing.
Mm.
Now I'm like, no, and they were like, oh no, it's just a population control. No, it's
Yeah, I heard
deeper than
that too.
that.
Population control.
You know what I'm saying? Like
We
we
never
are
know
seeing
the truth,
people.
but
We're seeing people out here lose. Like I actually have, I know
she
somebody
said
who
yes,
actually
I'm
have
still
lost.
here.
Oh, okay. Hey, Carla. Actually, me and Carla, we're connected somehow through
Mhm.
family.
Oh,
Um, yeah, we was talking about that one night on here or whatever. But I had a friend who just about a month or so ago they lost a aunt. They buried an aunt to the virus, and this thing is real, y'all. Please make sure y'all take care of
it
yourselves,
is.
y'all. It on the elderly, whatever y'all could possibly do. I'm gonna start looking into ways, but like I said, whatever we could do to advocate because there are a lot, and T, you know that because you used to work down there. There are so many people, and that's the one thing I miss about going up there. I talk to all of them folks. You hear me? I
Mm-hmm.
talk to them people. Hey, how you doing, sir, ma'am? I ain't gonna name no names because of HIPAA reasons, but you
Right,
know
right.
what I'm saying? Oh man, I'll sit there and laugh and talk with them. Tell
Mm-hmm.
them, hey,
Yeah.
it's up. Wait, so it was one of them. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta tell this because this was so funny. I said, "What you want for Christmas?" He told me he want a car. I said, "What? You want a car?" He said,
He
"Yeah."
said, "Picture me rolling."
Right. Wait a minute. I said, "What kind of car you want?" He said, "An Impala."
Oh,
I
man.
said, "What? You want an Impala?" I said, "What kind of Impala
He
you
want
want?"
a
He
pimp
said,
parlor, a pimp parlor.
"Wait a minute." He said he want a blue Impala. So I said, "Okay, so I see how you rolled." This is, but you know what I'm saying? So I joke and laugh and talk to the elderly because, for one, I was always taught to, our upbringing from our generation, T.
Right,
You respect, you look out, you talk to the elderly. It's about community.
right.
So my whole thing is we got to look out and take care of our elderly because, hey, one day somebody got to look out for us too.
Yep, yep. And
Period,
that's
point
why I
blank.
tell people all the time. I when you worked at a facility like that before, and you see residents who don't get visitors, and they always
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
talk about they kids who don't
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
who don't mess with them anymore.
Mm,
Sometimes you have to wonder, is there a reason why
mm.
your kids don't mess with you anymore?
Right, right, right,
And,
right, right,
and,
right. For real.
and because of that, I tell people, you know, people used to come to me a lot, my own family members, and be like, Tanya, what is it that you're doing with your sons for them to be obedient? and be good.
Mhm.
And you're not
Mhm.
gotta run up to the school every single day, and you're not gotta bust them upside the head, and you ain't gotta. They ain't
For
going
real.
back to jail. They ain't disrespectful. They ain't trying to fight you. They ain't trying to. And I got boys, and I'm a single parent. And
Right. Right.
I would tell people, first of all, it starts from the ground up. From the moment they can understand the English language, that's when discipline starts. And I would see it in different families and friends. They don't start disciplining their kids till they like 12, 13. They done spoil them
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Let them do whatever they want.
It's too
And I
late
said,
then.
it's too late. And I said, you nip that stuff in the bud when they're young. And then as they
Mhm.
grow up, they just understand certain things that they can get away with and they can get away with. And I said, on
Right.
top of that, you have to always, because I was not a perfect kid when I was growing up. I was in and out of trouble all the time. And
Right.
regardless of my mother's trying to keep a structural, religious household, me and my brother still at some point of our life as we got older, we just was like, F this. We ain't going to church no
Right.
more. We doing what we want to do. But because of that, because I was raised in church and because I know what it's like to be forced to go to church 7 days a week till like 1, 2 in the morning and revivals and all this kind of stuff and not have no outside life.
Man.
And then
Man.
jumping into the streets and doing what
Woohoo.
we wanted to do. It was like it was crazy to go from
Man.
all the time to jumping in the streets.
Hey,
So
it was like a whole nother world type
I
of
put
thing.
myself in my kids' shoes. That's what I do. Like when they
Mhm.
was growing up, I swear to God, every time they did something, I knew it. If they lied, I
Mhm.
knew it. If they did snuck something, I knew it. If it's two of them and I'm up here, who did this and they don't want to tell, I know. I know what you capable of, not because I pay attention. And I pay
Mhm.
attention and I'm very vigilant when it comes to my kids. So I tell people when they ask me about stuff like that, because of seeing how it goes at the nursing homes and seeing how
Right.
some people be in there for years with no visitors, you have to put yourself in your children's shoes and remind yourself
Mhm.
how it was when you was growing up and remind yourself what your parent did right and what your parent did wrong. And keep a good relationship with your child. Even if you pissed off with them 1 second, like my kids will tell you, they could get grounded, like in trouble, big time. And then the next
Yeah.
day, I'll be like, would you like to go out to eat and let's talk about it? Why did you get in
That's
trouble?
what's up.
Why did you get your TV taken away? Why we would have communication. I wouldn't just
Yeah.
when we was younger, it was punishment. You got the brakes beat off you. Ain't no
And
talk,
that's it.
no sitting down. Ain't no what we gonna do different next time. It was none of that when I was growing up. It was you got
Man.
the butt whoop
Man.
and that's it.
And
So
that's that.
I did something different raising
In
mine.
the discussion.
Right. I did something different raising mine. And I noticed from working at nursing homes and being around that type of environment that a lot of it's sad that I used to hear sometimes visitors say my parents were horrible. I heard this.
What?
My parents were horrible to me.
Wow.
That's what they would say. My parents were horrible to me when I was growing up. They would say that. They would come and ask me, are they mean? Do they cuss you out all the time? Do they do it? Because that's all they did when we was growing up. And you can tell the expression on their
Ooh.
face and how rare they came to visit that they had a horrible relationship with their parent. And that's why I say to people who got kids, you have to have a great relationship. You have to balance the discipline, the love, the playing around, the joking around, the just being comedic with your kids, just acting a
That
fool.
balance.
Just acting a fool.
Yes.
You have to have a balance because we grew up in a strict household where we didn't have fun.
And you know what,
You
T?
know,
I'm not a parent, but I've always worked with kids. I love kids, and I totally agree because I know, like you said, growing up in the religious, because we grew up together. We both grew up in these religious house settings, and that was the one thing I always said. If I had kids, or just because of my nieces and nephews now, I have balance. Like we can talk. Like my nephew, he'll cuss and he'll be like, oh, Alzheimer. And then he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, Auntie. I'd be like, you're all right, baby.
Oops.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go off on you because you done cuss at me, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Because I get it, you know what I'm saying?
We've
But
been
I
there.
thank you.
We've been
I appreciate we've been there, you know, that you respected me enough to say excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So we can laugh and joke and talk about all type of stuff. And they know. They these young folks know,
Yep.
these young cousins and nieces and that, hey, don't push it. But like you said, it's about I've learned it's about balance
It's a
and
balance.
all of that. It's a balance and everything, and that's the stuff that I didn't have, honestly, you know, because of the household, the way we grew
Oh,
up.
I
You know what
know.
I'm saying?
The only fun I used to have was going to school. And that's
I was
why
about to.
people hated going to school when I was growing up. Man, I would break my neck. Let my mama say the one of your brothers sick and they can't go and you gotta stay home and babysit. I used to cry. I just want to go to school. And I'm like, I used to love going to school because that's where my fun was.
My fun,
It was so
but
stupid.
it
Reading
was school
out
and
the
church.
da,
It
da,
was school
da,
and church.
it was that's all it was school and church.
It was
And
school and church.
although I respect my mother for raising me in church, and I swear I would be like probably 10 times worse if I wasn't raised in church. But it was no relaxing at home. You had to walk around on eggshells. And I know we kind of getting off a topic, but the reason why I'm saying all this is because when you work in a nursing home facility and you see people there for years and their kids never come, and then when you do talk to the kids, all they got is negative stuff to say about their parents. You don't
And
want to be
see,
that parent
you
that's
seen
in a
that
nursing home
side.
and your
That's
kids.
tough.
Right. I don't ever want to be that parent where my kids aren't visiting me.
Yeah.
Even if I'm at home, like right now, like my kids, we oh my God, we have a great relationship. They come over, they got keys to the house still. The ones who don't even live here, they can come in and out when they want. I mean, we have it where we at least once a month, we all hook up, we watch movies, we go out to eat. You know, we have a relationship like that. And you don't want to be that parent 50, 60, 70, 80 years old and dwindling away at a nursing home and your kids don't want to come visit you
And you
because
know what?
how their relationship was with you when you grew up. Thank you, Carla. She said, "Priest Tanya."
For
I'm
real,
just
you
saying from
don't.
personal experience. I'm just saying from personal
No, cause
experience.
and I will watch. You know, every time I come, I'll watch their little eyes, and I'll see how they be looking when I come up there to be. I had one lady. She said, "You come up here every day to see your mama." I say, "Pretty much, yes, ma'am." You know what I'm saying? And she said, "That's so nice of you." And I've had some staff. They say, "Y'all so good to your mom,"
Mhm.
because if the days I don't go, my sister go, or we'll
Right.
rotate, or you know, or however, you know, because it's like I don't really be on my feet as much with all my medical issues or whatever. But if I'm cooking, even though she don't eat much, I'm
Mhm.
gonna bring her some food.
Yep.
Like for Mother's Day, I cooked that lady her catfish. Now I know all that stuff I cooked. I bet you she ate about 5 bites, maybe six. Catfish, spaghetti, all of that stuff. But you know, those it's just the little things.
Yep.
It's the little thing. But I will watch these people and they be waiting for you and they be high. Like they be watching you as soon as you get out the elevator just to
Mhm.
say hi to you. They be telling me where my mama at. Oh, she right, she over there. Margaret over there.
Oh,
Like, cause you know what I mean?
there's
And
a
they
lot
just
of
be
sweet, there's
excited.
a lot of sweet people that be in the nursing homes. And that's one reason why I had my son when he was in 10th and 11th. He volunteered there. I taught cake decorating classes there. I mean, it's like being cooped up in a nursing home all day and not having people come visit you or show you love
Man,
or buy you presents. It really hurts. And that's why I tell people when they ask me for my advice when they have issues with their kids, the first thing I say is put yourself in their shoes.
In their shoes.
You have to sometimes take your mind off of parenting, and you have to put yourself in their shoes and say, what would have happened if I did this? Now I know I did this, and I know I did that when I was growing up. Okay, now I ain't trying to say let them get away with stuff, but you have to put yourself in their shoes and understand.
Like, this is a new generation, a new time, etc. This is not like where you was at. And going back to that, I'm gonna piggyback. You know, you just made me think about, here it is. My mom have dementia, so now I just thought about, like, she's now isolated. So being isolated, I'm kind of, you know, like, damn,
And the
that kind of
dementia,
sucks.
yeah,
You know,
it
so
can probably take a toll on people, you know.
and so that's, you know, that's 14 days of isolation, hopefully, prayerfully, because actually, from what I was finding out today, there are some people who had to get, basically, they've been isolated for like several weeks.
Oh, you can be
Had
isolated for months. I know people who
no, no, I mean, who had to go back in
oh yeah.
isolation.
Oh yeah.
You
I know
know,
somebody who's been isolated for over 2 months because every time they keep going back to get tested, they still got it.
yeah.
So if you isolate yourself for 2 weeks, then you got to go get back and test it. If they still say you got it, you got to isolate yourself for 2 more weeks. And I know somebody is going on 3 months and there's no cure and they still got it. And all they do is stay home. All they do is stay home. And then they go to get retested every few weeks. And they still got it. So, and that's just like Miss Sislow. You know Miss Sislow?
Yeah, Miss Sislow.
One of my moderators on this YouTube channel. She jumps on the screen with us from time to time. Her daughter was in the hospital.
I'm about to say her daughter. Yeah.
She was in there for 4 months. She could not kick it. And Miss Sislow had to watch all her grandkids for 4 months. She had to move in with them and everything because her daughter could not kick the Rona. And she finally got to come home like a week or so ago.
I'm about to say a week or so ago, because I remember it was around Memorial weekend, because I remember we was all like, you know, giving her our congrats and prayers, and yeah.
It was Memorial Day weekend, and her daughter, after like 4 months, finally came home from the hospital. I mean, her breathing was jacked up. She was on machines and tubes, all because of the Rona. And so, it some people survive it, some people don't. But
you know what? Thinking back, this is kind of really scary. They had called me, and this makes me wonder about the phone call. They had called me several weeks ago, asking me, in case of my mom catching COVID, and about an intubation, like if she had got to the point, would I want her intubated? So they probably knew right then when they started asking me those questions, the cases were beginning to pick up then. They literally had called me a few weeks ago and asked me, her social worker, in regards if my mom caught the corona, what measures would we want to take? Because I'm her, like I said, POA. You know.
And you might be right. They tested her 4 times. You might be right.
Now that I'm thinking about it today, but this was several weeks ago, because the 4th test was just Monday.
Right. See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
so they probably already, because the first test was just in May.
She was either already sick, or they knew that somebody there.
They knew somebody there had it
at risk, or had it. It's why would you just keep testing somebody over and over again?
Because if they feel that, they said, they told me too, that if a person have symptoms, if you have a symptom, they will retest you. So that's like nausea, that's fever, I'm talking about sore throat. If you show chills, any of that, breathing, any of that, they're going to go ahead and retest you.
Miss Gen Xer has said, when she first came into the chat earlier, she said the tests are not all reliable. Also,
and that's my thing too. These tests are not how accurate. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because look, my mom after 3 times negative, and the
in
fourth
the
one
fourth time, positive.
positive
And she had been sick,
Monday.
though, but she had been sick. And it took
But
4
it okay, and I'm gonna be technical. Sick with a UTI. So supposedly a UTI because she was on an antibiotic, but I question really was it a UTI? You see what I'm saying? Because the fever was higher then than it was during the Rona.
But you know
So
what?
I'm like,
I don't blame you for being concerned. And it's not about bashing a specific place. It's all about should family members know that there are COVID patients in a
mhm,
facility where their family member lives.
yes,
And I think they should know immediately.
yeah,
Immediately.
definitely.
And if you're not having no visits with your loved ones because they got it on lockdown for months and months and months, and you call to check on your loved one, they should be like, okay, well, we understand you ain't seen them in months. We might be a little bit busy right now, but I'm going to take this phone to your mother anyway.
Hmm.
And it's so
And then who really is checking a hotline to see the results of how many people in the facility have the corona? Now, I'm just being honest. We talking about this is the hood table. We watch the news. We
I
don't call
I watch
hotlines.
the news. I be posting stuff all day long on the
Yeah, we
hood
watching
table,
KETV
Facebook.
7.
Yeah,
Most of us, a lot of us watch Channel 7. Seven's my joint because that's what I'm trying to call them now.
that's my
But,
favorite channel. Yeah, my favorite
and then
news station.
we're talking about the Florence home. Okay, it's one of the cheaper facilities, and it's helps
One of the
people who
cheapest, if not the cheapest.
Medicaid. Exactly, if not the cheapest. It's in the hood. They don't want it to be out there. They don't want to be noticed in media because that's going to put attention on their facility because that's going to take away their capitalism. That's just how I see it. It's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm
I
just
just
saying.
think just because this is such a serious illness, I agree with you that they should put numbers out there. And that's just
Hmm.
not them. That's all facilities that care for people with
All.
underlying health conditions.
Exactly.
All
All.
facilities.
Yes.
Because why they telling the public, y'all can't come, y'all can't come, y'all can't come, because we don't want y'all to bring nothing here, and y'all steadily getting the virus in the facility because of the workers bringing it in. Why are you keeping that private?
Why are you keeping it private?
But then at the same
Why?
time, not allowing people to visit their families, thinking, oh, we're looking out for their health. I understand. I don't want my family to get it, so I'm going to stay home. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. But then they still getting the disease, and they don't want it to be public.
They don't want to speak public.
It,
Yeah. But y'all done kept us away all this time. And we're compliant, and it's
you're compliant,
hard,
right?
as
You're
hard
compliant.
as hard as it is, as hard as it is. And yeah, like I said, yeah, I get that, the staff gotta be there to take care of the parent. But y'all show the state of Nebraska, again, I'll say, y'all could have thought better to took proper precaution and proper measures and had them wearing the M95s
And
and wearing the glass shields.
even if they have to
Off
measure,
tops, no,
because
I just feel right, no, but I mean if they had to measure, they should have had them
right,
doing that off top as soon as they knew
as
about
soon
it.
as right,
They as soon as they knew about it, they should have had them doing that off top because this would have protected them off top. My opinion, my thought. That's what they should have did. They knew this hit. They knew this was real. They seen the numbers. They seen this was in the game, and they knew that this hit facilities such as nursing homes the hardest. Why? Because you have the elderly. Um, the elderly, they're
They weakly move
susceptible.
themselves. Some of them
They're
are.
more receptive. I mean, come on. The state of Nebraska, again, the good life. This was your decision to let these people walk around in surgical masks. You
And
know
I
what I'm
see
saying? And
why Pete Ricketts got blasted by Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. You know what she actually said after she blasted him? What she actually said
hmm.
was, "This is the kind of thing that you go down in history books for, Governor Ricketts." She said, "You're going to be
Oh,
famous."
I remember that.
She said, "You're going to be famous for this long after you're gone for not releasing the numbers." That's
Yep.
exactly what they said
I
about him
remember
on
this now.
MSNBC.
Yep, it sure was. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back and look at that when I get done with
Right.
this.
Because I'm like, come on now. They blasted him on MSNBC. Now, I know there's some news out there that be like, should we really believe this? But I'm sorry.
hmm.
I'm sorry. I believe it.
I mean, and this just verified it because how the numbers within 24 hours go from 7 to 8 to 11.
And don't forget our
So,
meatpacking numbers. How they were
and
saying
don't
that there was only a few thousand. Then come to find out there was like 7,000 people
yeah.
infected.
So we're
Like,
talking about it increased in 3 plus you got the pending
mm,
within a 24-hour period.
yeah. So I'm gonna keep
Well,
it.
actually 4. It increased to 4 within a 24-hour period because it went from 7 to 11. So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna keep your mom in prayers. You know, I love her just like I love my mom.
I thank you. I
That's
appreciate
family.
that.
That's part of my extended family.
Yeah, it's fam. For sure,
Um,
fam.
and I hope I hope the numbers don't rise. I hope they can contain it and control it down there. But I think they need to do the families.
And remember, there's 3 staff. That number never
Yeah,
changed.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
3. Well, it did because remember at first it was 2
It was
staff
first. It
on
was
Monday,
two. Yeah. Then the next day it was three, and the
and
rest
then
of it was
it
7.
remained at 3.
Mhm.
hmm. So
Yeah. So
that just goes to show that the staff, again, like I said, yeah, we know y'all need to take care, but it's staff that's bringing it up in there. And that's funny because they're talking about, well, they feel like the residents, because they're not going anywhere. Well, of course, they may go to the doctors or whatever, but
right.
we know that y'all should have been
Most of them
protecting these
don't go
people
to
off top.
Yeah, most of them don't go to the doctor. They be down there every day. They don't go nowhere.
I mean, a few of them may go to a doctor appointment. You may have a few,
Right,
but at the end of the day, it's like y'all know these people ain't going nowhere. Stop it.
exactly. Right.
Y'all know these people ain't going
And if they
nowhere.
are going to the
So,
doctor, they are practicing very, very, very safe precautions when they go to the
yes.
doctor. So, technically speaking, it probably is the people who work there who's bringing it in, and it can happen. It can happen. That's not. I know that's not your beef with them. I know it's the
No.
fact that they're not giving you the
The
information
proper
that you
information,
deserve, and
and
that's
they're not notifying me in addition to what they should be.
right.
And like you said, they're not giving me the proper information. They're
Right.
not notifying me. And then I have a problem with the state of Nebraska because they should have had better hands on the scenario than what they did. Because if they did, none of this will be out of control the way it is. And
Right.
like you said, I pray that it doesn't even get any further than where it is at now.
Yeah, and I hope more medical facilities start using that. I know that particular mask, they say it'll do more harm to you if you're not wearing it properly. But train the people, get them measured for each individual. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
how much it costs, but some things are worth paying for. You
give them
know,
a class, whatever, do whatever it takes. You know what I'm
I
saying?
would have known that the people at the nursing home, all they had to wear was some cloth mask. I mean, that don't even make
Cloth or cloth or surgical. That's all the director. Cloth or surgical.
mm-mm.
What? This is what they cloth
and people
surgical.
are going out into the public every day who work there. Like you got like how many staff? 100, 200 staff? I mean, going out into the public every day and coming back to the facility. So yeah, I hope
And
that
then not only that, they're going into the public, then they're going amongst their families, and then you
right,
don't know who they family that been
right,
around, and then
right.
they family that been around. So it
Exactly.
goes
It's
on
like
and
a
on and
domino
on and
effect.
on.
It's like a
It,
domino
it,
effect. Yeah.
a domino effect, literally.
Yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. Well, you know
yeah,
what? Keep me posted, hon. Keep me posted because I
definitely.
definitely want to let me know how your mother is doing, you know, in a few days. And if you need anything, you know, you can let me know.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
definitely. Definitely.
And I'm glad we made it through the technical difficulties, and
I
thank
know.
everybody for y'all patience.
Let me apologize, y'all. We need to apologize because we were supposed to start at 8. We didn't start to what? 9?
It
9?
was close to 9. It was close to 9.
We
About
had some
8:50,
technical.
8:30. No, 8:35. 8:35.
Yeah, it was
8:35.
about 8:45ish when we started
Yeah,
because
somewhere in there. Yeah.
she was the her phone just didn't want to cooperate. It was hating on us. They didn't
I
want
can't
to.
get logged on my computer. Technology and me. I need Jesus. I need technology. No, I need the dummy book 101 when it comes to technology. Me and my cousin have a joke. It doesn't matter. Like literally, Tanya will tell y'all. The screen went black. I didn't even do nothing. I didn't touch nothing. The screen went black. I couldn't even. I was like, I'm not about to get on there
And she was
and make
like,
these people think that I'm like a
"You don't
punk,
hear
and I
my
don't want
on
people
my
to.
face."
Yeah, like y'all, like I'm, like I got what is it called when they do it on TV? Like I don't want to
It's
be
called
seen.
it's like a black screen or incognito, or you just don't want to.
Yeah,
You know, you want to be
I'm trying not to be seen. No, I want y'all to see me,
yeah,
see
like you want
me.
to be anonymous.
Yeah, like I'm anonymous. What? Like
Yeah, the
that's
screen
crazy.
was black. Every time she came on, we couldn't get the screen to show her camera. So we apologize again because we were supposed to start at 8. It's almost 11 o'clock. So we apologize for keeping y'all
Yes, I
waiting at
apologize.
start of
I'm talking
late.
about from
But
phones to computers, but my phone ended up working. Thank y'all so much. But you
yes, thank
guys,
you for tuning in.
listen, whatever y'all can come up with and think of to do, y'all, let's maybe make a basket. I don't know, take some poster boards down there and just
And
reach
that's to
out
any
to the
facility.
elderly.
That's to any facility. These
Any facility.
facilities where they are practicing lockdown and not
I'm
letting.
glad you said that, T.
I mean,
Any facility.
send some fruit, send some. I don't know what all they allow you to do. You said you had sent something down there before, but
Hmm.
I mean, because the residents, especially the elderly ones, the ones that's really up in age and they might have dementia, they really don't know. Like they know things, but some things they forget. And I
Yeah,
know
they
your
really
mom.
do.
I know she knows you. I know she knows when she ain't seen you. I know you know
Yes.
what I mean? And I know that hurt.
Exactly.
That
And
hurt.
you know what? And even some of them, they still like to play with baby dolls. They
Yeah,
like toys. They like coloring books. I mean, they just, it's hard for me to say this, but they just, it's seeing them go back to their childlike stage
back
all
to the
over
child
again.
life. Yep.
That's what it is. So
But they
I
say
don't care if
we
it's giving them a coloring book.
born needing people to assist us, and we die needing people to assist us.
And sisters,
That's
yes,
that's
yes.
just life.
So
The circle of life
yeah, you come into this world as a child, you leave as a child.
as a child.
So whatever, I don't care if it's, if you can reach out, give them fruit. I don't know, whatever it is that God lay on your heart, because I feel like this right now. It's about community. It's
Yeah,
about reaching out. It's about looking out. However, whatever God lay on your heart, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? However, you step up to the line, whatever is laid on your heart, do that. And
exactly.
mine right now has always been about elderly. I love the elderly. I talk to the elderly, not just in the nursing home, but I used to sit down and talk to them at church. I get a kick out of them because I learn a lot from them. I love their wisdom, man. They be
Yeah,
off the chain, man.
yeah.
Hey, because see, just thinking back, boy, I love Mother Rosie B. I
I
used to hit her
know.
up.
She
I call her.
peace.
Hey, and to this day, I remember her phone number 402-453-8941.
Her and my mom was
And
like the bestest of friends. They was like the
oh man, I
bestest.
call her every Thanksgiving. I say, Mother Rosie B, You got
Yep.
some sweet potato pie and some
Yes.
dressing, because I'm on my way. And she said,
My
come
mom
on,
and them was
Candy, come
always
on
together.
over. Yes, and that's why I'm saying, like people like that, that those were our the matriarchs for, their family, the Cooper family, and what would you call them for our community,
Um,
um our ancestors, our what's the word I'm looking for? Um Growing up, they were like, well, I guess our ancestors, you might as well say. But it's a certain word I'm
I
looking
know, I
for.
know, I know what you're thinking.
I
I just,
just can't think right now. I'm having a straight brain fart at 10:51, but
I,
whatever.
hey,
But these
girl,
are the people. These are the people that the elderly, like these people, they taught us wisdom. They gave us knowledge, baby. And I'm talking about, we'll get you together. We'll get you right together, baby, real quick and tough. And then if you need a remedy, because to this day, and if you need a remedy, and I don't know what made me bring her up, because I guess she's near and dear to my heart. Because I would call her and tell her happy birthday. I believe it was November 27th,
mhm.
every year, or November 28th, something like that. And I said, I'll call her, Mother Cooper. I'm not feeling well. How I need to do such and such. And I remember she told me, take you some nighttime. And that's why I call reverse NyQuil to this day. Nighttime, reverse NyQuil.
And see,
Give
my
me some
mom didn't
nighttime.
have a remedy. She just come with the prayer oil. She just put it all
I'm
over.
telling you.
Where you
Baby,
hurt
Mother
at? Is it
Cooper.
the stomach? Is it
Oh,
your arm? Is it your knee? My mom would have that prayer oil.
don't talk about that prayer. Because Mother Cooper, one time I didn't have a car. She said, Candy, I know you ain't got no car. You better go and lay your hands on go to that car lot, and you better go lay your hand. See, that's the type of
Girl,
people. See this generation now.
every house
See
we
that
moved in, my mother laid oil
laid
on
hands and
every
laid
wall
oil,
and
and
every
I'm telling you,
doorknob and every
that's it.
window. She blessed every
Listen,
house I've ever lived in up to the time when she passed away. And then when she passed away and we moved, I was like, oh my God, my sons was like, what we gonna do to bless the house? And I'm like, uh, we just gonna pray. We just gonna pray.
these are our y'all. These are our grandparents, our loved ones, our ancestors. These are the people that instilled the wisdom and the
Yeah,
knowledge, like we're talking about now. I'm talking about Gate, who taught us about faith, who taught us how to believe in God, and watch
faith
them
in the size
trust.
a
A
mustard.
mustard seed, you better say it, because I was just thinking that. You
Mhm.
could tell a mountain to be thy move. And
Yes,
that's why
turn a
I'm
mountain
standing,
into a
and this is
molehill.
why,
Turn a
and
mountain
this
into
is
a
why
molehill.
I'm sitting here right now today, and I'm saying this, and I'm looking into this camera, that COVID-19, my mama shall and will be healed.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was in a funk, my emotions, I was all over the place. And I was mad, I ain't gonna lie. They called me a word, and I didn't drop the F time. I was like, F, because I didn't, I'm human. Like, what, COVID? Y'all done tested her 3 times, now 4, and now you tell me that. And I'm sitting outside, I'm in the bed, and I look down at my wrist, because anger settled in.
Mhm.
And I forgot. And then I made a post about it on Facebook. It says, I have Luke, if y'all can see that, 137. Because people be like, who is Luke? They be like, what is Luke? They be thinking it's a dude name on yeah, it's a dude, the physician in the Bible, but it ain't no nigga that I got tatted on me or whatever.
Right.
But Luke, Luke 137 says, for with God nothing shall be impossible.
Amen.
And I was thinking, I said, Lord, nothing is impossible with you. Everything is possible. And then I was thinking about, if you put a apostrophe between the I and the M, that's I am possible. And then I took it a little deeper, and it says, with God, if you do that with Him, He is the possible. He is saying, I am possible. So there is endless possibilities in him. So I know my mother will be healed. My mother taught me. I learned faith from watching her and my father. from watching her Mother Cooper and then pray all through the night and laying hands on people and they trusting and they believe in God and your mother
When
laying hands
two
and
or
putting
three
oil
are gathered
are gathered in the midst. Okay, I'm not trying to do church tonight.
Don't preach on it. We because you know we will take it there. Yeah.
Now I don't want to do Mother Cooper. I got a feeling everything gonna be right because it is. It's gonna be all right. But with
She's
that
like,
being said,
I got a feeling
yeah.
thing is gonna be all right. Hey,
Oh, oh, we done went back to the LWC Light of the World days. Light of the World Church. But yeah, y'all, you know, on the real note, like these were our grandparents, like these are, I'm talking about, and they are our grandparents. These are our ancestors. These are our loved ones. These are our people. This is our community. These are the people that looked after us, took
Yeah,
care of us, that nurtured us, and that poured into us. So it is no more than but right. This is when they say give me my flowers while I live. That's not just a natural flower. I had an epiphany not too long ago.
love,
It's about doing something. It's not about a
love,
flower. It's about
love.
love. It's about showing action,
Action.
doing action, action, doing something.
Yep.
That's what this is all about. And on that note, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Well, thanks you, Ken. Thanks for coming to us tonight. You know, I always enjoy having you on the show. And again, I
No
really
doubt.
hope
No
that
doubt.
everything works out down there. And I hope it doesn't spread past the 11 that they already have down there. And I'm going to keep your mother in prayer that she is healed. And that because I know she's been sick
Definitely.
for a minute. So I'm going to pray that, she is healed. And everybody
Thank
else
you.
who tuned in tonight, thank you for tuning in to this great show. Make sure you like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the Hood Table.
Like, share, subscribe. Like,
Like,
share, and
share,
subscribe.
and ring that bell, y'all. Ring the bell now. And don't forget, we have a YouTube channel. Ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. See, Chianti, when she was here, my co-host, but she been going through some things right now, but she be up there. Ring
Okay.
my
I was thinking about
bell. Ring my bell.
ring my bell. My bell.
Ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. That was her part.
I
That was
was, you know what, and I was gonna ask you about her tonight because I know she have had family members
She done had
lost to
like three
COVID,
people. Three
and
people in the last
three now.
3 people, one male, which was her cousin, and then 2 female friends within the last month died here in Omaha from the COVID.
Mm.
Yeah. So she
Y'all, please, COVID is real. Please practice social distancing. I know, y'all, it's been hard under being in this pandemic. I know I said I was done, but y'all, I'm stressing, y'all, it's real. Y'all hear what she's saying. This young lady, the co-host, now my mama, I've known somebody. It's real. Practice social distancing. I know it's hard out here not to give hugs. Look, y'all, hey, I'm telling you,
elbow,
I ran into one of the
elbow,
homeboys. We giving dabs with the elbow. Even if you have to go old school and do that, whatever, and go ahead and make sure you sanitize up or whatever. It is hard because that's because that's what we're used to doing.
I'm
Our
a
world just
social butterfly. I like to hug. It's like my first instinct when I see somebody. I'm like,
mm-hmm.
oh, my bad, I'm bad. Okay, let me get an elbow. Let me.
And oh, that was one thing HS said, and I want to stress this to everybody. I know a lot of people don't do masks. I know a lot of people don't. Please make sure y'all keep a mask because you know what? They stress this. It's about not only for the protection of yourself, but protection of others because those droplets is really your germs. And the best scenario she gave me today, because I was telling her how I resided in Minnesota at one point. Just like when you wear that scarf around your face in the winter, and when you take it off, you know how it'll be all wet and you have all the
Yeah, your
droplets and
turn.
everything. That's all your germs. The same thing applies with a mask. And like she was saying, even in China, for all those years, you notice how they've always wore a mask is because they were trying to protect others from getting their germs.
Right.
The
And
same
another
thing
thing with
applies.
those masks, if you buy the homemade ones, I know several people. I bought some for me and my sons. If you buy the homemade mask, make sure you wash them every now and then.
Yes.
Wash them
Wash them.
You have to wash them. You can't just wear your homemade
Wash them.
that somebody made personally for
Hygiene.
you. You have to wash them every now and then. You have to wash them. Now, I know the throwaway ones, the ones you can buy in the packets at the store, you can throw them away. But when you then pay $10, $15 or whatever for a personalized one, you have to wash it.
Wash them.
You have
And
to.
matter of fact, T, I just see, and I want to give shouts out to my girl because she did masks for you and for me, which I need to go pick mine
TP?
up.
You talking about TP?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, yes. Hey, because I got a Black Lives Matter. Y'all.
She made some good ones. She made me one with all the female superheroes, and she made my son one, Nebraska Cornhuskers, because he liked the Cornhuskers.
You talking about TPH, First Lady
yeah.
now?
No,
yeah,
no, no.
Yeah.
I'm talking about TP Tana. I know who you talking about, First Lady.
No, I'm talking about Sonia.
Yeah, that's where I get my makeup from. I know who you talking about. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because she do Mary Kay.
She do all kind of stuff, but TP is Tana. She the one who makes them for a lot of people too, and she made mine and my.
I'm gonna have to get with you on that because I got some special requests.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, y'all get y'all masks. Make sure I actually ended up doing Etsy, and I found there was someone that's based locally. Well, I shouldn't say locally, but in the U.S. and they're layered because you want to make sure you have that layer, that barrier. That's
what
very
I like
important.
the ones that Tana gave me. They are not thin. They have
exactly
the inside. They have, and that's and Tana's was not that expensive. Hers was like 2 for $12 or something like that.
Yeah,
but
they cheap.
They don't cost that much. They really don't.
Yeah.
But you know what? Saturday, just to put it out there, I am having, you know how in the Hood Table group we always do support our own Saturdays.
Yes, I seen that earlier.
Yes, I'm gonna start having people actually come on the show on Saturday.
Nice.
Who are people who make things, who are crafty, whether it's food, whether it's masks. The first person I'm bringing on here, she does T-shirts, she does blinged out cups, coffee mugs, she does all that kind of stuff. So for our own Saturdays, I'm gonna have people who are talented and want to get their products out there. And that's what we're going to do. So, we might have people on there that make face masks and things like that. So, yeah. So make sure y'all hit me up, or hit me up on, the best way to hit me up is to join our Facebook group called The Hood Table.
The Hood Table.
It's my group. I created it. So that's the best way to hit me up is on The Hood Table. Join The Hood Table Facebook group. And, you can just tag me or send me a message or whatnot. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do on Saturdays. Every Saturday, it might be one person. It might be more than one person, but we're going to help them promote their products and help them advertise. So, that's what we do for the local folk in our community. So with that being said, any last minute words, Ken, before we wrap it up?
Y'all just stay safe. That's all I really have to say. Stay safe out here. Y'all be protected, be smart, be aware, and stay blessed. And vigilant.
Yes.
And be blessed, never stress.
Yes. And on that note, we out. Deuces. Good night.
Night.